And that's where the transformation is happening. It's in that
Hmm.
really small, monogamous,
Yes.
mundane. I have a hard time saying that, mundane. That is where the transformation is happening.
Yeah, a little
Not in these,
micro
yeah, yeah. I mean,
micro
you can
shifts.
go and have an ayahuasca journey and have like
Of
these,
course.
but also, well, how are you going to integrate that now? What are you going to do with that? Even if you didn't have this massive breakthrough, mind blowing, catastrophic experience, it's like
Mm,
amazing. And now what? The small, micro, consistent habits every day.
yeah.
That's how you transform. Like the lessons and the downloads and the insights, that's how you embody it.
Yes,
So it
that the
always comes
embodied
back to
piece.
that.
Yeah, the
Healthy
embodiment
habits and
piece.
self-care. And self-care is in self-nourishment, not like girls' night once a
Hmm.
month, getting my nails done, getting my hair done. Yes, that's self-care, yes. And also I mean like what's what are you doing every single day to nourish yourself?
Yeah.
That type of
Hmm.
self-care. And it sounds like you have such a beautiful practice, so I love that.
Well, I also want to, I really receive that. And I also want to, for those that are listening to, depending on where everyone's at on their journey, I think it's important to also say that I acknowledge that I, I acknowledge I'm young, I'm 31. It feels like a different time in my life right now, but I've been on this journey since I was 20. So we're talking about 10 years and feeling like that's a long freaking time. Like I didn't always have this level of awareness. There was some sort of awareness, but again, it comes back to just this piece around I've always been a very curious person about myself, curious
Mhm.
of from the lens of like, what's my purpose here? What am I meant for here? And that's always the curiosity has always led me to, of course, naturally, like becoming more self-aware, more awareness, more like doing the work and okay, what does this mean? And just going on this journey. It's just I think there's something about when you see the 10 year and you're like, wow, this has been a journey. And
And
to
has it always been easy?
no, my gosh. I think in the last 2 years is where I feel like a lot has really is where the embodiment came in. I
Mhm,
think that's what
mhm,
it is.
mhm.
And that's
And
why it
that's after
feels
8 years.
right. It's such a
Yeah.
long time. And then I also acknowledge too that not everyone is necessarily beginning the the journey, whatever that looks like, or just that connection to themselves. I don't want to necessarily always label everything as healing, but just building this relationship with ourselves, that's not always happening at the age of 20. And I feel like, aside from like past lives, but I just mean 20 years is kind of like I'm unpacking 20 years of my life. Whereas I just give, I think the lens that I come from when I talk about this is just the grace that some are starting their journey at 40. Some are starting their journey at 50. And it doesn't matter what the age is. That's not the point. It's that there's just a lot more layers to unpack.
Thank you for saying that too, because oftentimes I'll work with people that are like 40 plus and they'll have moments like, Kels, I just don't understand why I can't just get it right. Or I can't just like, I
Mm,
can't stay consistent. Like something's wrong with me, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, listen, Ashley, you had a full 40 fucking years before this year. Okay. And so, just as much time as it built to build those habits and behaviors and thought patterns and everything that you're trying to transition from, give
yeah.
it some space and some grace and have some compassion that that's a 40-year journey that you've been on that you're trying to rewire in 6 months. I don't know. Like, it,
Yeah.
yeah, like have some compassion, right?